Hi everybody, it's Tom from Vehicle Visionary. I hope you're having a great day. This is the 2024 Honda HR-V. It's the sport trim level we're going to be taking a look at today. And I'm going to give you the information to answer the question, is this the best subcompact crossover SUV? The exterior color on this model is urban gray pearl coat. It has a black interior, and its base price here on this mid-range sport trim level is $25,650, and you might be surprised at a lot of the features that you will find on this particular model. If you want to know more about it, check out the link down in the description of the video to the Holmes Honda website. The HR-V is in its second generation and in the second year of its second generation, or at least the second model year, after being fully redesigned for 2023. This model is going to come with LED lighting basically everywhere you look. LED headlights, LED daytime running lights, and we'll also see LED taillights on the rear of the vehicle when we get to that point. And a very sporty look, that's for sure. How about the remote? You're on the sport trim level. I know the main thing a lot of people like to know about the remote, it's down there in the bottom left-hand corner. It's going to be remote start. And you'll find power adjustable heated side view mirrors with the gloss black mirror caps. They have turn signal indicators built in and blind spot monitoring. I don't know how well you can see that, it just rained, so dealing with that. Speaking of safety features such as blind spot monitoring, obviously you have Honda sensing here. And that's going to include adaptive cruise control, road departure mitigation braking, lane keeping assist, traffic jam assist, all of that is here. And these HR-Vs come standard with front-wheel drive, but all three trim levels offer all-wheel drive. This particular model is all-wheel drive that we're looking at today. Tire and wheel size, 225 on the width, a 55 series sidewall, wrapped around the 17-inch wheels. I think that wheel style looks nice on this particular trim level. And we'll finish things off here on the rear. Obviously you have the body colored shark fin antenna, the rear roof spoiler. Very useful to have the rear window wiper. And as I said earlier, there are your LED tail lights, the HR-V logo, the sport logo, and you do have an exhaust finisher right here, the outlet for the exhaust, I should say. Only one, but it seems to fit and look nice back here. A clean look overall. And for those who are saying, Tom, I'm looking for a new subcompact crossover SUV, but I don't want a turbocharged engine. Good news. You're looking at the right vehicle for that. It's not the only one available, but this HR-V comes with one engine option. It's going to be the naturally aspirated 2-liter 4-cylinder. It makes 158 horsepower, 138 pounds-feet of torque, and it's mated to a continuously variable transmission that, in my personal opinion, seems to be pretty well behaved. I know a lot of us would like to see a multi-speed transmission vehicle in all vehicles, but it's what's available here. And how about those all-important MPGs? 25 city, 30 highway, 27 combined, and 3.7 gallons of gas per every 100 miles driven. And for those who are curious about the price on this particular model, you're still coming in under $30,000 as far as the base price goes, but Holmes Honda has added some features. Here is what all of these features are that have been added and the additional price. Yeah, there is a little bit of an additional price, something to know about before you come into the dealership. I know a lot of dealerships do this. It's always good to know. Depending on your situation, you might think, boy, I really don't want to spend that much more. It's not going to make a massive difference when it comes to your payment. Depends on your budget and your situation, but for most people, believe it or not, that markup is not going to make a major difference, but it is something you want to be aware of. Cargo capacity comes in at 24 up to 55 cubic feet. And good news for those of you who are anti-tire repair kit. I don't know if I can do this one-handed or not, but we will try. Let's see here. There we go. You can see there is a spare tire located there underneath the floor, along with all the tools necessary to change it. Also, your built-in lighting back here in the rear cargo area to help out after dark, along with the 12-volt power outlet. And just to show you how everything works here, I know a lot of you like to see cargo capacity maximized. Here's what you're going to do is just use that release to lower the seats down. And there's how everything looks when you maximize your cargo capacity. Let's take a look into the back seat area and see what your rear seat passengers will find. Yeah, the armrest seems to be comfortable. I would call that more of a bottle holder than a door bin, but there it is. You also have the nice orange contrast stitching throughout the interior that breaks up this black interior. That's always a nice feature. Now here on this particular model, no sunroof. For me personally, that's a good thing. I know some people prefer a sunroof. I don't, so that wouldn't bother me if this was something I was planning to purchase. You do have the rear seat pocket here, and that's about all I can tell you about here in this rear seating area, because there are no air conditioning vents and no power outlets of any sort. I don't think the lack of the air conditioning vents being in the back seat here will be an issue because you don't have a large interior. And you know that window tint is one of the additions that the dealership here in Northwest Louisiana has added to this model. And you might say, well, what is the percentage of window tint? 40% here on the front windows, 25% on these rear windows, and if you go to the back window, it's going to be 12%. And that number represents the percentage of light that is allowed through the windows with that window tint in place. And for those looking for a larger door bin and larger armrest, well, the front doors are going to have that, a comfortable armrest, more of that orange contrast stitching. And this is more of a door bin, I would say. You had the bottle holder and a little bit of space behind that. Now here on this sport trim level, you will have manually adjustable seats for the driver and the passenger. Not necessarily a bad thing. You do have the pass-through here. There are USB options here, or connections on each side. One here on the passenger side, another on the driver's side, and another up here. Quite a bit going on actually for the price point, I would say. And then we're going to have our cup holders as well as the conventional style shifter. Here is our drive mode selector. And obviously you know what else is here. We'll take a quick look into the center console. Seems like a reasonable amount of space for this particular size of SUV. And as expected, there will be a few additions here on the driver's side door as far as controls go. You can see what all is there. And then we also have the lever right here that we can release and change the positioning of the tilt and telescopically adjustable steering wheel. And I'll let you listen to and see what happens when you hop inside. I did hit push button start right there. That shouldn't be a surprise to anybody. Quite a bit here, but a very simplistic dash to use. As far as your instrument cluster goes, here are your steering wheel mounted controls, by the way. If you want to use the information that's available to you and go through that, maybe make changes, you're going to hit that home button right there until you reach this screen on the left side. And then you'll use the scroll wheel right here to take care of everything and get through to whatever area it is you want to see. Pretty simple to figure out, pretty easy to deal with. Here's the control for your blinkers or turn signals that some of you save for the life of your car, and whoever buys it after you trade it in has unused turn signal bulbs. You also control the headlights and taillights right there too. And over here on the right-hand side of the steering wheel will be the control for the front and rear window wipers. Now here is one of the two options for screens. This is the 7-inch. There's also the 9-inch. That blinking kind of flickering effect you see there is not really happening. That has to do with my camera. So anybody who asks about that, no, you're not really going to see that in real time. When you go into reverse, there's your rear view camera. The trajectory lines, it's a multi-view or 3-view camera, so 3 different views there. You can see everything that you have. Single zone climate control, again, I don't think an issue here. Let's consider price point. I don't know that it would cost that much more to add dual zone, but that's what's here. And you do have heated seats here in just a couple of days. That may actually be useful here in Northwest Louisiana. Not today, still in the 70s, but I can live with that. And with the shifter right here, well, first of all, let's do this. Let's go through our driving modes using the drive mode selector, but that's not the only way you select driving modes. Let's go up here on the instrument cluster again. So we're going to start with normal. There's the graphic that comes up. We go to econ and snow mode, something that's very beneficial paired with all-wheel drive. Now you might notice that sport mode wasn't there. Well, that's because you're going to go down here to the shifter. You have D for drive and then S for sport. And if you've ever wondered what that L is for down there, you can shift into L. That stands for low. What that means is that you still have the ability to use all 158 horsepower with the vehicle, but it's going to be in low gear, which means it's not going to move very fast. That means it can be helpful in maybe hilly situations, really in the snow in a lot of ways, because then you won't necessarily get too much RPM and spin, even though that would be pretty, well, maybe not pretty hard to do, but it would be not as easy to do with all-wheel drive. Okay, we're out on the road for our test drive, and you might wonder about ride quality. A shorter wheelbase, smaller SUV sometimes has a bit of a choppy ride. In my experience, it doesn't seem to be bad. It's not a Cadillac, it's not a full-size SUV that has that longer wheelbase to make the ride smoother, but I think it's comfortable for what it is. That's the best thing I can say. And obviously, depending on your personal situation, if you're considering an HRV, well, most likely that's going to fit your needs. The good thing about something like this is that it's great for big city driving when you have a lot of congestion, a lot of traffic, limited space. This is a very easy vehicle to maneuver around and zip around in and do whatever you need to do. You're still going to have solid gas mileage numbers, and it's an enjoyable vehicle to drive. Having the available all-wheel drive option sure doesn't hurt. There are advantages to that. I mean, you could be one of those people. There are people who live maybe with a really steep driveway. Maybe they live in the mountains or something along those lines. And having all-wheel drive can be beneficial, especially if you have gravel or some kind of rock or something like that. I know people that have dealt with that, and they have to tell people you need to have an all-wheel drive vehicle or four-wheel drive to get up the driveway. And so that does happen. So, and what about acceleration? We have a vehicle driving under the speed limit, this GMC Canyon in front of us right here. What is it like to accelerate? Well, it's not neck snapping, that's for sure, but you can get down the road when needed and get around slower moving traffic. So there's a lot going there. The technology here, while there's a decent amount, you have a lot of great features with the safety features and the 7-inch touchscreen and everything that I showed you and told you about earlier in the video. It's not complicated, it's not difficult to learn, and most certainly not difficult to use. And as far as the interior goes, while these are not leather seats, they're cloth seats, the cloth interior, still very comfortable, and the seats are easily managed to be comfortable. So you can make a lot of adjustments. So there's really a lot going here for what you get. I think you get a lot for the money. I don't know that people are expecting to necessarily have more than what you receive here. Overall, a very good vehicle, but I'm always curious to know if you could make a decision at Honda and say, we're going to add something to the HRV at some point in the future, what exactly would that be? So now it's your turn to talk. Tell me down in the comments section, is the 2024 Honda HRV the best subcompact crossover SUV? Tell me what your answer is and tell me why you answer the way that you did. I do want to say a special thanks to my friends here at Holmes Honda for loaning me this HRV for the day, and a special thanks to each and every one of you for being kind enough to give me the opportunity to give you a vision for your next vehicle. If you enjoyed this video and haven't subscribed to the Vehicle Visionary YouTube channel just yet, please consider doing so. And if you would like to learn about additional vehicles you may wish to consider purchasing or simply learning about, check out the video that's on the screen right now, and I will see you there.